A day in the life of a post-90s couple renovating their old house in the village after being laid off. At 32, both my husband and I were laid off, so we decided to move back to the village with our 5-year-old son. After so many years, I returned to the room I grew up in as a child. It's truly filled with memories. Who would have thought that coming back to the place where I was born and raised, I would now be a parent myself? The most important thing right now is to get the room cleaned up. No one has lived here for a long time, so it's dirty everywhere and there's a strong musty smell. So we decided to give the room a major makeover. The door, which hasn't been repaired for years, is badly warped. Moving this mattress out was exhausting for us. A sound! I'm sure it was you. And next up is dismantling this old cabinet. This was actually part of my grandma's dowry. But keeping it in the room doesn't serve any purpose. So we just took it all apart to save space. In the end, it was inevitable that we'd have to clean out all the junk in this room. I remember there used to be a grove of trees here. Alright, the next step is to scrape off the putty from the exterior walls. Every autumn, after we scrape off all the grass and debris, we plan to apply a layer of cement to the exterior wall, then reapply putty. That way, the wall surface won't peel off in the future. After 4 hours of hard work, we finally finished it. Finally, it's time to solve the water supply issue. We need to clean out this well, removing all the dirty water and silt inside. First, we use some bamboo strips to make a simple shelter so that bamboo leaves won't fall in. Next, we just have to wait for the well to fill up with water on its own. Once there's water in the well, we can bring it into the house. After an entire afternoon of hard work, there's finally water. It really wasn't easy. Looking forward to the next video, where we'll whiten the walls and decorate the house the way we like. A day in the life of a post-90s person who, after being laid off by their company, returns to the village to renovate an old house. In the previous video, I had already tidied up the master bedroom. Today I'm starting to clean up the floorboards. Standing on top of them, my legs can't help but tremble. It doesn't look like much, but cleaning it up is actually pretty exhausting. I scraped off all the old putty from the room. I then reapplied cement and putty to the walls, giving the room a new lease on life. After so many walks, it looked like a torrential downpour. I'm not even sure if that's the case. Because funds are tight, I decided to do the laborer's work myself. Honestly, being a laborer is really hard physical work. The next morning, I contacted 2 craftsmen to come and help. That's when I heard a voice. I then started painting the wheat-colored wall. At this moment, the old wall gradually shed its mottled, earthy hue. A brand new year had arrived. Under the guidance of the craftsmen, I made quite a bit of progress. Slowly, I got into the groove. Before long, the work was done well. The next day, I decided to saw off these wooden beams. I had planned to keep them, but they just looked too ugly. Once the cement dries, I can start painting the walls white. As I watched the walls gradually turn white, it felt as if everything was starting to get better. Even though I was exhausted, I felt really happy inside. He always liked to follow right behind me, kicking around as I worked. Once the place was cleaned up, it was time to lay the tiles. Because the budget was tight, I had to follow online tutorials and do it myself, even if it made me want to cry. Laying the tiles to this half-finished state is good enough. Laying tiles is a lot like life. We patch things up here and there, and somehow manage to get by. This is what real life is. Telling each other to come eat, while spreading the mixed river sand evenly on the floor and smoothing it out. Then, I laid the tiles one by one. Since I was a beginner, I had to check each one after laying it. I think I should be able to finish laying the tiles before it gets dark today. I'm feeling incredibly strong right now. I'm about to become a strong, independent woman. After finishing the tiles, I put on the baseboards as well. The baseboards are much easier to install than the tiles. Basically, you get the hang of it right away. Next, I cleaned the floor thoroughly. The renovation process is exhausting, but it gives me a real sense of fulfillment. I'm looking forward to installing the furniture and ceiling in the room tomorrow. A day in the life of a post-90s person who, after being laid off by their company, returns to the village to renovate an old house. I transformed my house from this to this. This morning, the master delivered the ceiling wood materials bright and early. Next, we need to get the framework done first. To speed up the progress, I asked my cousin to come and help. Just screw them in and slot each piece into place. Admittedly, we're a bit out of our depth, but this way we can save quite a bit on labor costs. So even the job of installing the lights, we decided to do ourselves. Can you guess what the two of us are planning to do with all this wood? That's right. To save money, my husband plans to make a solid wood bed at home himself. I'm sure someone once said that focus is a man's best quality. At this moment, he is exactly that person in my heart. Come on, you can do it.
Accompanying me through feelings I've never experienced before.
Right now, we're still immersed in the joy of happiness. But the accident came so suddenly.
You were scared when that speaker came out, scared of that new bone. When you were taking it apart, you called me.
Seeing him in pain while disinfecting his wound, my heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. I was so distressed that tears started to fall. From now on, you must be extra careful. Everyone, please pay attention to safety while working. It was said 100 years ago, safety first. Because my husband hurt his hand, he asked me. Grandpa came to help. At this moment, I gradually realized that a professional is truly a professional. His hands are much quicker than ours. With Grandpa's help, our bed is almost finished. Watching it slowly take shape, it looks much better than we imagined.
Turning my head, it's still wrong. You and I never...
After sanding it down, we applied anti-corrosion paint.
Joints?
Next, we assembled the bed frame. Then we installed the bed slats.
Today, whether high or low, I still know you are missing out on love. And that's a mistake.
Finally, we put on the bed rails, and our son followed along, imitating us. What do you all think? Not bad, right? Ha ha ha! You can tell our son really likes it. The next day, we started tidying up the living room. We found a set of toys from my childhood. I guess kids these days probably don't recognize these things anymore, right? And there's also my favorite, the Little Tigers Band. My partner has done this before too. Next time we'll decorate the living room, tidy up the messy kitchen, and then we can make all kinds of delicious food.